Have you ever sat through a presentation that was just so captivating you totally forgot to take notes? You were just right there with them.
Oh, yeah.
Or maybe the opposite, staring at the clock, just willing it to end while someone reads right off their slides.
We've all definitely been there. It's painful.
So what is it? What really separates, an engaging speaker from someone just delivering info? Especially in English. Welcome to the deep dive. Our whole mission here is to cut through all the noise, really distill the crucial stuff from complex topics and give you those aha moments, so you feel informed, but not overwhelmed.
Mm-hmm.
Today, we're diving deep into mastering the art of truly impactful English presentations. And to guide us, I've got an expert right here with me on the nuances of professional communication.
It's great to be here. My goal today, really, is to equip you with a complete blueprint. How to deliver confident, engaging presentations in English. And this applies whether you're prepping for a big business meeting, maybe an academic conference, or honestly, just looking to improve your everyday chats at work. The strategies we'll cover. You can use them right away.
Yeah, we've really tried to break this down into the core things. The stuff that turns good ideas into, powerful deliveries. We'll kick off with the psychology behind presentation confidence, bust some myths there.
Good place to start.
Then we're going to introduce an advanced structure for professional English presentations, something that goes, way beyond the basic intro, body, conclusion.
And we won't stop there. We'll dig into the power of specific vocabulary and something often overlooked, signposting language.
The GPS.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because in my experience, the clearer the path you map out for your audience, the more confidently you can walk it yourself.
Makes sense.
And finally, we'll unlock professional intonation techniques. Because how you say something often speaks louder than the words themselves.
Okay, let's jump right in then. Confidence. I know so many people wrestle with this. What's the number one misconception you find yourself clearing up right away when you work with clients?
Oh, that's easy. It's the belief that confidence means never feeling nervous.
Right.
It's not true.
Yeah.
Honestly, even the most seasoned speakers, myself included, we get those butterflies before going on stage or joining a big virtual call.
Mm-hmm.
The real difference is learning how to channel that energy, make it positive, make it productive.
I see what you mean. So it's less about eliminating nerves and more about transforming them. I sometimes call it productive nervousness.
That's a great way to put it.
Those jitters, they actually show you care, right? You want to do well.
Exactly. And here's something powerful I share. Instead of saying, I'm nervous, try reframing it. Tell yourself, I'm excited.
Huh.
Because physiologically, your brain actually struggles to tell the difference between excitement and anxiety. Both ramp up your heart rate, make you more alert.
Mm-hmm.
So by consciously relabeling it, you can kind of hijack that energy for your delivery.
That's fascinating and so simple, almost. Are there other practical things you've seen really work to boost that internal confidence?
Absolutely. One I often recommend is the power pose. Stand like Superman.
Uh-huh. Really?
Yeah. Hands on hips, feet shoulder width apart. Just do it for 2 minutes before you present. It can actually change your hormone levels, boost testosterone, that's the confidence hormone, and lowers cortisol, the stress one.
Seriously, that sounds almost too easy to work.
I know, right? It sounds a bit out there. But there's research. Places like Harvard Business School have looked into this. Mm-hmm. It's not just physical. It shifts your mindset. You move from feeling threatened to seeing an opportunity. Helps you think clearer, speak better.
Wow.
The key, though, is do it privately. Bathroom stall, empty office. Definitely not on stage.
Good point. Okay, so it's really about building confidence from the inside out, prepping your mind and body, not just learning a trick.
Precisely. Now that we've touched on that crucial mindset piece, let's talk structure. Building that framework that grabs attention and makes your message stick.
Right, because most people just think, intro, body, conclusion.
Which is fine. It's a starting point.
Yeah.
But for truly professional communication, in my experience, you need something more robust.
Couldn't agree more. I've actually developed a framework for this. I call it the impact structure. It's designed to make sure you don't just deliver info, but you engage, persuade, inspire.
Impactee.
I like that. Tell me more. What does it stand for? How is it different?
Okay, yeah, let's unpack it. It kind of mirrors how our brains naturally take in information.
Yeah.
So I is for intrigue, that opening hook that grabs them immediately.
Crucial.
M is for map. You clearly lay out the journey, show them where you're going.
Okay.
P is for proof. This is your core content, your evidence. Make it compelling.
The substance?
Right. Then A is for apply. How does this actually work for them? What are the practical implications?
Making it relevant.
Exactly. C is for connect, linking it all back to their needs, their interests, their challenges.
Personalizing it. And finally, T is for transform. That clear call to action. What do you want them to do or think differently?
That's brilliant. It's not just a list, it's a narrative arc, a strategy. Can you give us a quick example? Like, how would this work in a real presentation?
Sure thing. Let's say I'm talking about remote work productivity. My intrigue might be, what if I told you, slight pause, that the most productive people in our company actually work in their pajamas?
Okay, you definitely have my attention.
Then I'd map it out. Something like, so today we'll explore 3 maybe surprising productivity patterns. We'll look at the data behind remote success and, importantly, discover how you can use these strategies home or office to unlock new levels of efficiency.
So you're using strong, inclusive language there, and that signposting right from the start. It shows the structure, and I bet that builds your own confidence too.
Exactly. And the key is how each part of impact flows smoothly into the next, that seamless feel. That's what separates, an okay presentation from a really professional, polished one.
Let's dig into that intrigue bit more. What really makes an opening hook work, especially in English?
Yeah, good question. In my experience, there are about 5 types that consistently grab attention. First, a shocking statistic. But it needs to be genuinely surprising,
Like, did you know 95% of presentations are forgotten in 24 hours?
Mm-hmm.
But the 5% that stick follow one specific pattern. Something like that.
Perfect, exactly. Makes people lean in, right?
Yeah.
What's the pattern? Second type. A personal story. But, and this is key, it has to directly link to your main point, not just some random anecdote.
Right, needs purpose, needs to resonate.
Third, a provocative question. Challenges assumptions, gets them thinking. Fourth is a vivid scenario. You paint a picture, really immerse them. And fifth, a counterintuitive statement. Something that makes them stop and go, wait, what?
Those are really useful hooks, and I find when you nail that opening, you feel so much more in control right away. It's a huge confidence booster for the rest of the talk.
Totally. It gives you instant momentum, like getting a great start in a race, Everything else feels easier after that.
Speaking of making things easier for the audience this time, let's talk signposting. That's an area where I see a lot of people, especially non-native speakers, kind of struggle in presentations.
Oh, you're spot on. I call signposting the audience's GPS. Tells them where they are, where they're going next. But most people just stick to the basics, like first, second, third.
So what are some of those more advanced signposting phrases, the ones that really elevate a professional presentation?
Well, I like to think about them in categories. For opening signposts, instead of just, today I'll talk about, maybe try it.
Okay.
Let me start by painting a picture for you. Or I'd like to begin with a question that might surprise you. Or even, before we dive into the details, let's just establish the context here.
Much more engaging. It pulls people in, doesn't it?
Definitely. Then for transition signposts, moving between points smoothly. Now that we've established the foundation, let's explore. Or, this brings us neatly to our next crucial point. Or, building on what we've just discussed.
Yeah, those create such a better flow than just jumping from topic to topic. It feels like you're guiding them.
Exactly. And for evidence signposts, when you're bringing in data or research, the data here tells a really compelling story. Or, okay, here's where it gets interesting. Or maybe, let me share what surprised me most in our research.
Nice. And for wrapping up points, guiding them towards the end.
Right, for closing signposts, leading towards the conclusion or action. So what does this all mean for you specifically? Or if you take away just one thing today, or here's how you can actually start implementing this tomorrow.
Okay, this is great stuff. Let's try a quick demo. How about I start a mini presentation, say, on coffee and productivity, and you jump in with signposting when you see a spot.
Game on, go for it.
All right. Imagine walking into your office and seeing every single employee totally energized, focused, productive. It's like a dream, right? Well, my latest research actually reveals something fascinating about the link between coffee and workplace performance.
Ooh, intriguing opening. Okay, so before we dive into those fascinating specifics, let me just outline what we'll discover together today.
Perfect. See, that signposting just smoothly bridged from the hook right to the structure map. That's navigating verbally.
And notice, I didn't just say, I will tell you about, I used what we'll discover together. That kind of inclusive language, it builds connection, pulls the audience in with you.
That's so important for confidence, too. When you involve them, you're not performing at them, you're exploring with them. Big mental shift.
Which brings us beautifully to my favorite part, professional intonation. This, I think, is where presentation skills really come alive, often more important than the actual words.
I have to admit, this used to feel a bit mysterious to me.
Yeah.
How do you actually teach someone to sound more engaging just with their voice?
It boils down to three key things, really: pitch variation, pace control, and strategic pausing. Let me show you. Imagine I said this. Host speaker uses flat, monotone voice. Today I will talk about sales results, and they were very good this quarter.
Okay. Pretty flat. Snooze-worthy, maybe. Now, listen to this version. Expert speaker uses dynamic intonation. Today, I'm thrilled to share some remarkable sales results, and believe me, this quarter exceeded every single expectation we had.
Wow. Okay, huge difference, same info, totally different vibe.
It
How'd you
sure
do
is.
that? It's like realizing there's a whole musical layer to speaking I hadn't noticed.
It's the pitch variation. Started higher on grilled, dropped a bit on remarkable, then built up again on exceeded every expectation. It creates, like you said, a kind of emotional journey, guides their attention.
Music for speech.
It's exactly. Professional intonation is about creating melody. But, and this is important, it has to match the content. You wouldn't use super excited tones for bad news, obviously.
Right. What about pausing? I've noticed really great speakers use silence so effectively, it makes you lean in.
Oh, pausing is maybe the most underrated tool. Listen, our company achieved something truly remarkable this year. Pause implied. Something that industry experts genuinely said was impossible. Longer pause implied we increased our profits by 200% while actually reducing our environmental impact.
Okay, those pauses definitely worked on me. I was hanging on your every word. Built real anticipation.
That's the power of strategic pausing. It creates that anticipation, yes, but it also lets important points land, gives them time to sink in, and crucially, it gives you time to breathe, think, gather your thoughts.
So when are the key moments to use a strategic pause?
Good question. I generally recommend pausing after you ask a rhetorical question, right before you reveal something important, when you're shifting between major sections, definitely after making a bold statement, and of course, just before your conclusion.
This really flips the script on confidence, doesn't it? Instead of rushing because you're nervous, you're controlling the rhythm.
100%. Confident speakers own their pace. They aren't afraid of a little silence. They know how to use it. It's a sign of control.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit. Vocabulary. What words actually make a difference in a presentation? What separates, everyday language from professional impact?
Yeah, it's not about using unnecessarily big or complex words just to sound smart.
Yeah.
That can backfire.
Right.
It's really about precision and impact. Choosing words that create the exact effect you intend. Words that convey authority and clarity.
Can you give some examples, like upgrades?
Sure. Instead of saying, we got good results, maybe we achieved exceptional outcomes.
Nice.
Instead of talking about problems, maybe frame them as challenges or even opportunities for improvement.
Shifts the perspective.
Exactly. And instead of a lot of people, you could say a significant majority or a vast number of participants, depending on context.
So it's about elevating the language, making it more precise, but not like stuffy or pretentious.
Precisely. And another huge one, use active voice whenever you can. Passive voice sounds weak, evasive sometimes.
Like mistakes were made.
Exactly. Instead, own it. We learned some valuable lessons from that experience. Active voice is clearer, more direct, shows ownership, much more confident.
That's way more powerful. Shows accountability, too.
Definitely. Here are a few more quick upgrades. Instead of show, maybe demonstrate or illustrate. Instead of tell, maybe reveal or share insights about.
Okay.
Look at could become examine or analyze.
Yeah.
And think about could be consider or reflect on. Small changes, big difference in tone.
What about upgrading those signposting words themselves, making them sound a bit more sophisticated?
Great point. Instead of just first, you could try, let me begin by establishing, or our starting point actually reveals, or the foundation of our discussion really centers on.
Much stronger.
And instead of just next, maybe building on this insight, or this leads us naturally to, or expanding our perspective now.
Okay, let's put this all together. Can you walk us through how these pieces, the impact structure, that dynamic intonation, the better signposting, the elevated vocabulary, how they merge in a real business situation?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's imagine you're pitching a new marketing strategy to your team. Here's how I might start, weaving everything in. I'd kick off using impact and intonation. What if I told you, slight pause, that we could potentially double our customer engagement rising pitch while actually cutting our marketing budget by nearly 30%?
Strategic pause.
Okay, I'm listening. Hooked already. How would you map out the journey then?
Right, then transition to the map stage with clear, confident signposting. So today, we'll explore three, frankly, revolutionary approaches that some top companies are quietly using. Clear signpost. First, we'll examine the data that honestly challenge everything we thought we knew about customer behavior. Then we'll discover how micro-targeting can actually save money while boosting impact. And finally, we'll co-create your personalized action plan to start implementing this next week.
Wow, that's professional delivery right there. You hit the impact structure, use that upgraded signposting, the intonation was engaging, and notice the word choices too. Revolutionary approaches, challenged everything, personalized action plan. They add weight and intrigue without sounding over the top.
Okay, we can't talk about presentations without tackling the Q&A. For so many people, this is where all that carefully built confidence just evaporates.
Oh, absolutely. It happens all the time. You can give a killer presentation, then just fumble the questions and lose all that momentum. The key is really preparation and having a solid framework.
What's your go-to framework? How do you handle questions like a pro?
I rely on what I call the CLEAR method. It's an acronym. C is for clarify. Make sure you understand the question. Repeat it back if needed. L is for link. Connect your answer back to your main message or key points. E is for explain. Give your concise, clear answer. A is for ask. Confirm with the questioner. Did that answer your question? And R is for redirect. Smoothly move to the next question or back to your closing remarks.
Can you demo that? I know for me, Q&A can really send the nerves spiking. Seeing it in action would help.
Sure. Let's say someone asks, but what about smaller markets? Will this strategy even work there? Okay, first, clarify. That's an excellent question about scalability, specifically in smaller markets. I think. This actually ties in perfectly with our discussion on micro-targeting, which is key here. Explain. What we often find is that smaller markets can respond even better to these personalized approaches. There's less noise, customer relationships are often stronger. Our initial data actually shows some compelling examples of this. Ask, does that address your specific concern about market size effectively? And if they nod or say yes, redirect. Great. What other implementation challenges should we perhaps consider?
That is so smooth. You acknowledged them, stayed on message, added value, and kept control. It really shows how having a structure just calms everything down.
Well, let's be real though. Even with all these great techniques, people still have deep-seated fears about public speaking. What are the common ones you hear?
Oh, the classics, right? What if I just blank? Forget what I'm saying. What if they ask something I have absolutely no idea about? Is my accent too strong? What if I make grammar mistakes?
All totally valid worries. But here's the thing I always stress. Your audience generally wants you to succeed. They didn't come hoping you'd mess up. They came to learn from you.
That's a good perspective shift.
Forgetting what to say. Don't try to memorize word for word. That's a recipe for disaster. Memorize your structure, your impact points, your key signposts, your roadmap. If you know the map, you can always find your way.
Okay, and grammar mistakes. I remember freezing once, mid-sentence, just mortified. How do you recover from that, really?
Honestly, native speakers make small grammar slips all the time in presentations. It happens. What matters most is clear communication and confidence in your overall message. If you make a little error, just keep going. Most people won't even notice, or they'll forgive it instantly if your message is strong.
And the accent worry.
Accents can actually be a plus. A slight accent can make you more memorable, more authentic. It adds character. Focus on clear pronunciation and good intonation, not on erasing your accent entirely.
Yeah, some of the best speakers I know have distinct accents. It's part of who they are. Okay, for people ready for the next level, reading the audience in real time, that feels like real mastery adapting on the fly.
It is. It's about picking up on those subtle cues. Body language is huge here.
Like what? What should we be looking for?
Well, if they're leaning forward, great. They're engaged. Keep doing what you're doing.
Okay.
If you see people checking phones or looking glazed over, you're losing them. Time to re-engage, maybe ask a question, tell a quick relevant story.
What about crossed arms?
Crossed arms can sometimes mean skepticism. Maybe they need more proof, a clearer example. Nodding is good signals agreement. You might be able to speed up slightly. Confused faces, definitely slow down, clarify.
And how do you adjust based on that? What do you actually do?
If I see confusion, I might use a clarifying phrase, like, let me put that another way, or here's a specific example to illustrate that. If I sense disengagement, I might ask a direct question to the room. How many of you have actually faced this kind of challenge before?
Ah, so you use signposting again.
Exactly. Signposting gives you that flexibility to detour and clarify without losing everyone. And you adjust your intonation too. Room feels low energy. Pump yours up a bit. People seem overwhelmed. Slow your pace. Use calmer tones.
That adaptability feels so key now, especially with how much communication has changed. How has the whole digital age impacted presentation?
Oh, massively. Virtual presentations are everywhere, and they demand slightly different skills. Your intonation needs to be even more dynamic online. You're competing with endless distractions on their end.
What's the #1 mistake people make virtually?
Presenting to their screen, not their camera lens. Eye contact is still crucial, even online. Look at the camera, not just the faces on your monitor. And keep slides. Simple, minimal text, strong visuals. They support you, they don't replace you.
Any quick tips for virtual confidence?
Yeah, a few practical ones. Try to stand if you can, even if they only see your top half. Better breath, better energy. Use hand gestures, they still impact your voice, even if off camera. Have notes nearby, sure, but don't read verbatim. And definitely practice using recording software first. Hear how you actually sound.
Since we're talking global communication, we have to touch on cultural sensitivity. This is where things can get tricky for international audiences.
Oh, hugely important. What works in, say, a direct American business style might fall flat or even offend elsewhere. You have to adapt. Consider things like direct versus indirect communication styles. Some cultures prefer building rapport before getting to the point.
Right.
Think about hierarchy. Is it okay to challenge ideas openly? What about time orientation? Is the schedule rigid or more flexible? And individualism versus collectivism, tailor your examples. Are you highlighting individual achievement or group harmony?
How does that affect the language itself, like signposting or vocabulary?
You might need more formal signposting in some cultures. Perhaps, with your permission, I would like to explore, instead of a casual, let's dive into. Vocabulary needs to match the expected formality too. It really underlines that true confidence comes from preparation and adaptability, not just memorization.
This whole process, becoming a great presenter, it's definitely a journey, not an overnight thing. What's your advice for ongoing improvement?
Treat every single presentation, even small ones, as a learning op. Record yourself if you can stand it. Ask for specific feedback, not just good job, but what's one thing I could improve, and focus. Pick one area at a time.
Like a progression plan.
Exactly. Maybe month 1 is just nailing the impact structure and basic signposting. Month 2, you focus hard on intonation and pace. Month 3, maybe advanced vocabulary and transitions. Build it layer by layer.
The absolute key, though, has got to be consistent practice, right? Even just 10 minutes a day.
Totally. Join a group like Toastmasters. Practice with colleagues who'll give honest feedback. Even just presenting to your mirror helps. The more you actively use these skills, the more they become second nature.
Can you share maybe one success story, someone who really transformed through mastering this?
Yeah, absolutely. I worked with a client, let's call her Maria. Brilliant engineer, absolutely brilliant, but terrified of presenting.
Okay.
She kept getting passed over for promotions she deserved because she just couldn't communicate her complex ideas effectively to, say, the sales team or executives.
What was holding her back most?
Pure lack of confidence in delivery. She spoke flatly, monotone, no clear signposting, so people got lost.
Oh.
And her vocabulary was all technical jargon, confused everyone outside her bubble.
So how does she fix it?
We started with the impact cruise structure, gave her that solid foundation, then layered on intonation practice, really working on varying her pitch and pace, and focused on audience-centric language, ditching the jargon.
And the result?
Within about 3 months, she was confidently presenting complex project updates to the leadership team. 6 months after we started, she got promoted to team lead, led her own projects.
Wow. What do you think was the biggest single shift for her?
Honestly, realizing that presenting isn't about performing perfectly, it's about serving your audience, helping them understand. Once she shifted her focus from avoiding mistakes to actually helping others get it, everything just clicked.
It's such a powerful shift. Takes the pressure off yourself and puts it onto helping others.
Exactly. Changes it from something scary to something valuable.
All right, let's wrap up with some rapid fire tips, things people can use like today, quick wins.
Okay, confidence, quick win, power pose, 2 minutes before any important talk. Do it.
Signposting, quick win. Swap out those ums and is for strategic pauses. Silence is better.
Intonation, quick win. Record yourself reading a news article out loud. Just listen for pitch variation. Practice making it more musical.
Structure, quick win. Always, always end with a clear next step or a specific call to action. Tell them what to do.
Vocabulary, quick win. Ditch weak words like pretty good. Upgrade to highly effective or exceptionally strong. Be specific.
Public speaking quick win. Practice your opening line, just the first sentence. Practice it until you can nail it without any notes, full confidence. Fantastic. Wow, we have covered a ton of ground. You listening should now have a really solid toolkit for crafting presentations that truly make an impact.
But here's the thing, right? Knowing this stuff is one thing. Doing it is where the transformation happens. Knowledge without action. Just entertainment.
So true. So here's your challenge. Pick one thing, just one technique we talked about today, maybe intonation, maybe signposting, maybe trying that impactee structure, and practice it for just 5 minutes. Seriously? Just 5.
And tell us how it goes. Let us know in the comments which technique you're going to try first. We genuinely love hearing about those breakthroughs. Community helps.
And if you want a summary of all this, we put together a free checklist covering the key points. The link's right there in the description.
And just remember, every single expert presenter started as a beginner. Every single one. Your journey starts with that first practice session, even 5 minutes.
Thank you so much for tuning in and investing this time in your communication skills. This was a really energizing discussion.
It really was. And remember, everyone, confidence isn't about being flawless. It's about being authentic, being prepared, and really aiming to be helpful to your audience.
Think about this. Mastering presentation skills isn't just about sharing info. It's really about building bridges of understanding, bridges that influence positive change. This has been The Deep Dive. Thanks for listening.
Keep speaking, keep practicing, keep growing.